Who liked the example of the poison?
Yeah, of course.
Good job. No. Let's start the screen share. Okay, Surah Yusuf. कहाँ तक पहुंचे थे हम लोग?
Yeah, it was ayat number 42.
42? Okay. Okay. 42, you finished it or you are doing it?
No, I'm just gonna start it. I end up in 41.
Okay. So let's just start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وقال الذي ظن أنه ناج منهما أذكرني عند ربك فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه فلبث في السجن بضع سنين. Okay. And said to the one he knew would survive. Najin minhuma azkurni, which means that mention me in the presence of your master. But Satan made him forget to mention Yusuf to his master. So he remained in prison for several years.
Right. So there would be like some wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that like this wasn't the right time that Prophet Yusuf comes out of the prison, right? He didn't go and say to king right away, although his dream came true, whatever Prophet Yusuf told him. And he went on with his life. He forgot all about Prophet Yusuf's request, and he didn't say said to the king that, okay, Prophet Yusuf is in the prison, just like he didn't committed the crime, right? Like maybe all the details he said, like, okay, go and talk to the higher authority, right? Because Prophet Yusuf couldn't appeal to the higher authority because Aziz was the higher authority on him and he didn't have the facility to reach to him. But he knew that this person was going to be the cub boy of the king. So he now knew that, like, okay, he helped him with his dream and he would be going to that place. So he has the opportunity, but it didn't happen for next 7 years, right? And did it mention 7?
Yes, 7 years. No, like it's just like
7
several years. Means like several years.
Okay, several years. So we don't know. I think it's, some people say it's total 14 years, right? Maybe for 14 years they were there, and then after, yeah. So there is a 7. Like if you read the tafsir, I think they will say that many years they stayed in there. Anyway, that's not important. That's not changing our faith or iman, right? So what is the did you do the grammatical analysis or hardly?
Yes.
So Shaitan made him forget. Okay. Right. So when it comes to so that's another interesting point. When you start forgetting something, it means we are forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So, and Shaitan makes sure that he make us forget Salah, he make us forget like wuzu, he make us forget us like so many things. Right? And in the end, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would just make us forget ourselves. Actually, when we are not reading the Salah or forgetting the Salah on time, actually we are forgetting ourselves, because Salah is like first and very important. We are not reading the Quran means, it doesn't mean that we are forgetting the Quran or forgetting the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, we are forgetting us, because if we do the good deed, where we want to be end up, like we want to be And like why we study for our exam? Why we study for exam? To get the good marks, right? Right? And here, the Jannah, which is the ultimate place for everybody. Like on the earth, we are only for 70 short years, or maybe 80, or maybe 100. Like even it's like very short, right? Why I said 70? After 70 is like we are so old that like I won't say not worth living, but like whatever life we live, like I think at certain point at the 92, we just try to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I had enough. Like, can I come back to you? Right? We like we pray like that ourselves. I guess that's what people say. Like people are telling, अब अल्लाह सुब्हाना तआला से आप भी दुआ करो मेरे लिए कि अल्लाह मुझको अपने पास बुला ले. Like something you might have heard the older people talking like that, right? Did anybody experience that? Right? So कहने का मतलब है कि like if you are living here only like for 70 years, 70 good years, and on that we are forgetting the Quran, we are forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we are forgetting actually? We are forgetting that like we need to pass the test, go to Jannah, right? So we are forgetting that we have to pass the test, or we have to read for Jannah, like we have to achieve something. Okay, is it making any sense? And who is making us forget that? Shaitan, because Shaitan promised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will take a lot of human being with me. I won't go in the hell alone. He wants all of us to be with him. So if in the morning we just like wake up and like we want to make sure that we are going for our exam in the college or university, and we just like forget to read Quran, right? And that day while going to the university, we are dead. So we were trying to achieve the dunya exam, but we forgot the Quran in the morning. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Not doing the daily Islamic ritual is a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
Is it a bad thing, right? Like
Yeah.
we have to think about like deeply that, and bad thing for whom? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or for
ourselves.
us? Ourselves, right? What we have to achieve, we have to achieve the maybe not 100%, maybe 100% is for prophets and like good people. Maybe we want to do 90. Did we achieve 80% yet? Or maybe we did the 70%, or we are just failing. There would be a criteria, right? What percentage we are falling into? How much we have done, how much hard work we have done to achieve that much percent that we get good place in Jannah, right? There are darajat, there are like levels. The first level, the second level, the third level, the highest level is Jannatul Firdaus. Okay, which Jannah we want to go? The bottom garden or the higher garden? But the people who fail would go where? They won't even enter the Jannah, right? So it's very important to understand the shaitan, what he does, because he says, it's okay. Today you have dunya exam. Today you have interview for the job. Why don't you focus on the job interview? And job interview what? Like it's for only dunya. He never says, why don't you focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because your ultimate goal is that job is still in Allah's hand. If Allah has that job for you, you will get that job. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Javeria, can you repeat all that, what we said, like in a summarized form? I know I'm just like words. Can you make it nice summary?
Yeah, like
Javed.
Shaitan wants partners in Jahannam. So
He makes us forget the important things
yeah, for what we are here in the world.
in the world, right? For test. We should be preparing for that test every day because we don't know if we will be alive next moment or not. So not
Yes.
even every day, but every minute we should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So that was this ayah. So Shaitan made that man forget about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And then what happened next? وقال الملك. Now is the king's darbar, the king court, right? King place, king palace. So now this the second part of the story. The prison is stopped, like not finished for Prophet Yusuf, but whoever his Sijni, whoever his companions were there, they were out of prison, right? So now the different story starts, right? The third story, right? The first story was Prophet Yusuf was like with his father. The brother took him. They threw him in the well, and then the second story starts that he is taken out of the well, then he end up in Aziz's house, and then whatever happens, accident happens in Aziz's house. So that was second story. The third story, he goes to the prison, and he is a prophet, so he is like doing his like preaching, and Allah gave him the तावीलुल ड्रीम्स जो भी उनको मिला एक साइन अल्लाह की तरफ से. So he is telling the dreams in the prison, but at the same time he's preaching Islam, right? So that was third part. Now the fourth part. Now the cub boy is in the palace with king. Okay, he's a cub boy, like he serves the drink to the king and maybe the other ministers, right? So start with that now.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وقال الملك إني أرى سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع عجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات يا أيها الملأ أفتوني برؤياتي إن كنتم لرؤياي تعبرون. And said the king, I dreamt of seven fat cows eaten up by seven skinny ones, like and seven green ears of green and seven others dry, like something like that. And oh people, tell me the meaning of my dream if you can interpret dreams.
Right. So just like every prophet has like a different given a different like, what should we call it? It's a miracle, right? So for example, Prophet Musa was given the asa, right? And then Prophet Isa was given that he could cure the lepers. So similar, Prophet Yusuf was given, and Prophet Suleiman was given the ruling on, like he could rule the wind and the mountains and the what's his name, like jinn, right? So every prophet was given a separate set of like skill set. So Prophet Yusuf was given the dream interpretation. Why? Because like that knowledge was like at the highest, right? So if nobody like if those were like like the king would hire those people because they could just like interpret the dream well, right? Then if Prophet Yusuf could just like could give a better dream interpretation and it comes true, then his position would be higher, right? So that's the reason he was given that particular skill. So now the king of Misr, he saw how many cows? 7 fat cows, and the weak cows are eating them, right? And then in the same dream, he saw green sumbulat, right? Green, what is the word, Urdu word?
Green, ears of
Ears of grain, right? And then he saw the 7 non-green, right? Like brown, right? Or dying one, right? So, and then he's asking the Malau, the minister. Malau is just specific people, the higher rank people who are in his court, right? He is asking them. He is not asking them like, okay, tell me the dream in the night I saw. Like he has the very educated people, and their education just like qualify them to be the interpreter of the dream. So he's like directly asking them, right? So far, so you are good.
yeah.
So what is the scene is the court of the king, right? So now we are not at the Prophet Yaqub's house and 11 brothers, right? That was a different scene, right? So look at the beauty of the series of event in the story, right? How it has been laid out. So there was the first part of the story where Prophet Yusuf was a kid. Then there was a second part when he was growing up as a slave in the house of Aziz. Then the third part of the story was he opted to go to the prison, right? And now the fourth part of the story is like the king, the entry of the king, right? The big king who is bigger than the Aziz at that time. Okay.
Okay.
And yes, and the scene comes and that like the king is sitting there, and it doesn't tell us like all details are not relevant. Before the king was whom, where he came from. By the way, that king was a kind of a better king. It wasn't a Pharaoh. Quran didn't say Pharaoh. But if you do the comparative study with the Bible says like it was Pharaoh. But Quran didn't say. And if you look at the history very carefully, there was like only 100 and 150 years that one of other king, Pharaoh was the title of the king. So this king has not been called Pharaoh. Okay. So that's why he was lenient and he was towards Islam. And he took over the power from one of the Pharaoh. And then he stayed with Prophet Yusuf, and that's how Islam came and Bani Israel came into the picture, right? And then the later Pharaoh was different. Again, that this particular king and or his successor was again defeated by another Pharaoh, right? So this Prophet Yusuf era was not a Pharaoh era, right? So Prophet Ibrahim, if you read the story, Prophet Ibrahim had to go through Misr, Egypt, and there was a Pharaoh, okay? And it mentioned Pharaoh, right? Ibrahim was like in the front of the Pharaoh, or Namrud, whoever the king was. I think Namrud was from his side, and Pharaoh, like he had to meet the Pharaoh who captured his wife, Sarah, right? But this particular era, so Quran already like corrected their history. So most of the people, like the Bible, they put it wrong, all wrong. They Prophet Yusuf, and they are connecting him with the Pharaoh, right? None of the Pharaoh ever was lenient toward Islam. But this particular king wasn't a Pharaoh. He came from some other places. So every country has a title to the king. So title of the king of the Egypt was Pharaoh. Title of the Iranian was a Kisra, right? So every different locality have a different title for their king. And this is Waqal al-Maliku, said the king. It didn't say said the Pharaoh. Okay. So Quran has corrected. It's a very important piece of the history. If you go into a deeper study, comparative study of the Bible and the Quran. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Got it? But that's for the later one, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now the 44 ayah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قال أزغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين. They said these are confused visions, and we don't know the interpretation of such dreams.
Mm-hmm. The point was like whoever the king was, but if he like people were afraid of the kings, right? King would get like king would be very difficult people, right? If sometimes they don't like it, like the answer, they might kill you. So those people might know or might not know. There are two possibilities. They might know that there would be a famine, right? There won't be any food for 7 years, right? They might know the dream interpretation, but they didn't want it to say the bad thing in front of the king. That's one possibility. The second possibility, that they didn't understand the dream at all, right? But it's hardly like, because they were so qualified people, so they might know the interpretation of the dream, but they were so afraid that the king won't like it if they give him the right interpretation, and they might be killed, or they might lose the position in the court, right? So they opted not to tell him at all. They said, oh, it looks like a confused kind of like a dream, but the king was still like, he wanted to know the meaning of the interpretation, right? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Did you understand the meaning?
Yes, okay.
Why would they have said that it's a confused kind of like a dream, right?
Yes.
They were afraid of for their life, right? Or they didn't know, like they didn't want to be the bearer of the bad news. Okay. All right. Or they were not confident enough that if their interpretation is not right, they would lose their integrity. Okay. So multiple things. You can think about a lot of things about that ayah. Next.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون. And said the surviving ex-prisoners remembered Yusuf after a long time, and I will tell you its interpretation. So send me. فأرسلوا, like to send me, something like that.
So he was a kabboy, of course, like now you have to picturize that, like the whole court, like king is sitting there, he's asking, okay, well, this is my dream, give me the answer. Nobody gave the dream. He's suddenly the kabboy. His only job is to give the drink, right? But he can still hear what's going on in the court, right? So when he sees, like, he wouldn't have the permission to speak, but when he sees that all the big minister over there, they are not saying a word, so he took a courage and he said, oh, I know somebody. And actually he didn't mention, like, it looks like before he would talk to king as well sometime, right? So but he never mentioned Prophet Yusuf because Shaitan made him forget. Right? So now he remembers, and he said to the king that I know a person who can tell you the dream, because his dream came true, right? he told him that you will be going to be a cub boy. You will survive and you will be a cub boy, right? One of you. He didn't say that who would survive. He said one of you would survive and would be a cub boy, right? Because at that time, the other person was dying. So he didn't want to tell him that, like, okay, you will die, you will survive. He didn't say that. He said one of you would die and one of you would just survive and be a cub boy, right? That's how he interpreted their dream. Because if it's a bad news, you don't tell the person that, oh, you are going to die tomorrow, right? So he didn't do that, but because he remembered that he survived and he was a cub boy, so Prophet Yusuf interpretation came true. And now he's saying that, okay, I know a person who would tell the interpretation, right? So send me, right? So he's asking the permission that can I go and grab tell your dream to him, and so he can give the interpretation. Okay. Any questions so far? Anybody?
No, it's clear. Okay.
Iman and Khadija, any question?
No.
You are enjoying the story?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So what is the next ayah? Seema, you have question, any?
No, thank you. Very beautifully explained.
Yes, it's a very nice story. It's like Allah
Yes.
subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning said, this is the best story. And this is the
Yeah.
like really, really best story, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we just stopped the grammar because these kids like kept running away. If they have to do a little bit grammar, then next class they just run away. So I'm not doing the grammar, but at least the story part should go like be. It's a very
Yes.
interesting story, right?
Very interesting,
Okay,
yes.
Barira, next one.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخرى يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون. So Yusuf said, like it says like Yusuf, O man of truth. Yusuf, O the man of truth.
Yeah.
Interpret for us the dream of 7 fat cows eaten up by 7 skinny ones, and 7 green of grain, and 7 others dry. Yeah, so that I may return to the people and let them know.
Okay.
Yes.
So he told Yusuf, he met Yusuf, and you would notice that in the story, Yusuf didn't say, oh, hey, you forgot me so many years. What bring you here, right? He didn't complain because he was prophet. He already know that he forgets. Shaitan made him forget, right? So now he is patiently like you, and he start telling the dream, right? That's only his way out, right? Interpretation. But did you see, like, Prophet Yusuf never complained in the whole surah. He didn't complain when he was in the well. Did you hear that? Oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why I'm in the well? Why my brother did that to me? Did he do that?
No, he didn't.
Although the Prophet Noah was just like complaining. If you read the Prophet Noah story, he would say, oh Allah, I invite them day, I invite them night. Remember, Khadija?
Yes.
He used to say that. He used to complain. But Prophet Yusuf, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it's a beautiful story because like he liked the way Prophet Yusuf never complained. Never ever complained. He was in the well, he never complained. He was at the Aziz Misr, he was like was being sold as a slave, although he wasn't a slave, he was a son of a prophet. He never complained that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I am the son of the prophet. Why they are selling me for like 10, like a few dirham, right? They not only sold him, they sold him like very low cost. then he was in Aziza Misra house, and it wasn't a beautiful situation. Just think about that. A kid is being like tortured for that's like on the sexual abuse, right? Like, I mean, somebody is trying to do that with him. It wasn't a beautiful situation, right? He never complained, right? Then he went to the prison. He never complained that, like, I have been, oh, this person, I told him to just go and just talk to king about me. He forgot. He never complained. And now this person comes, he's not complaining that you forgot about me, right? Like, he's not complaining, right? He's like, he's Prophet Yusuf. He's like different. He's different material, never complains. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. That's interesting. So he is telling this the whole dream of the, and now qala tazra'una, आगे चलो आप.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قال تزرعون 7 سنين دأب فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون. He said, you will plant grain for 7 consecutive years, leaving in the air whatever you will harvest, except for the little you will eat.
Right. So here he's not saying, oh, this dream means that. What is he doing? He's saying you have to plant, right, for 7 years, like do the farming of like whatever your potential is, like farm, like grow, right? And after you grow, you ate very little, and for next 7 years, you grow and you eat very little out of that, right? So what is he doing? He is giving the solution that would happen, but it can be saved. It can be like it won't harm, right? And he didn't say like just like it's a 7 years. So if you grow double, or if you whatever you grow, and if you can live like on half of it, he didn't say eat 50% and eat 50% and save 50%, because 50% should be enough, right? But he's saying like grow a lot, but eat very little out of it and save the rest. Why? It wasn't only Egypt problem that famine hit over there, but it hit a lot of like the neighboring territory, right? You would see in the future that his brother also come from the other countries to get the food from here, because that was the only country who saved the food. So Prophet Yusuf not only like interpreting the dream over here, he is giving a solution that would happen, that okay, for 7 years you would have a good crop, but then for next 7 years you won't have nothing, right? So what he did over here, he gave the solution. Because if he would have given the which the other people were afraid of, saying that, oh, 7 year you would have like a good crop, but the next 7 year you would have like nothing. So king would say, okay, I don't believe you, or something like that. But over here, when he gave, when he said the dream like that, like, okay, the bad thing would happen, but it is doable. Like you can survive with that bad thing. He didn't say, oh, you all your people will die for the next 7 years of hunger. What he is doing, he said like, okay, you have to be very wise as a king to save a lot of food for next 7 years, which would not only like would be sufficient for your own country, but it would make you a very famous king among all other countries where the famine hits. Okay, did you see that in the interpretation? What is the lesson?
Yeah.
for us? What is the lesson for us? If we see the problem, we don't go and just talk about the problem, right? We should also think about the solution beforehand if we come across a problem. That's what we learn from. Like there is a lesson in each ayah of Surah Yusuf. It's not just for fun story reading, right? It is building our character. How in the world you would go, because there would be a lot of problems. There would be a lot of tests. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing you, but you will see a lot of tests. When you see a lot of tests, you don't say, oh, those people are poor. Those people are poor. What is the solution for you to give it to them? What you can do to solve other people's problem and your own problem? Because if there are less poor people, the society would be good, right? The less poor people won't steal. The less poor people would just like, poor people won't have like much to offer to beautify the city. But if everybody is just like fluent, like those kind of things, like you always have to face the problem in the world. You always have to come up with the solution. Okay? You understand? All the young folks?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Are we learning something over here? That although it was like 7 years, people like think about the whole Pakistan, for example. If something happens that 7 years, there is no food grown in the market, what would happen? The farms, like there is no rain, there's like nothing grows. What is going to happen? Have you ever thought about that? How lucky
Everything
we
would
are.
just like die, I guess, because there's
We will
no food
die.
for 7 years.
Yeah. So what are we doing today? We are not even going and thanking the people who are working like with their sweat. Like every day they are on the field, they are just sowing the seeds and farming and cutting the crop, and then that crop comes and the ठेले वाले के पास जब आते तो हम कहते हैं 10 रुपए का क्यों दे रहे हो, 5 रुपए का दो, हम ऐसा बोलते हैं उसको. Did you experience?
Yeah.
Did we ever go and just sat with some of the farmers and say thank you for doing such a hard work? Because of you, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you in that test that you do that hard work. You can't even like have survive. You can't even send your kids to the school because you don't have enough money, because you just work so hard, and you even have to take your kids and tell them just like help me cutting the crop so I can just help the people who live in the city so they can be fed properly. Like ever one person who lives in the city ever gone to a farmer to say thank you? Barira and Javeria?
Yeah.
Because we are happy with our lives, that we live in a city and we can tell them that, oh, you guys are selling 10 rupees, ज़्यादा बहुत महंगा बेच रहे हो, हम तो 5 ही देंगे.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Barira and Javeria especially?
Yes. Yes.
You've seen, right? So what are we learning over here, right? We are learning a lot of things. Seema.
Yeah, that's a very good lesson. Actually, we never ever think about the solutions. We always, focus on the problems themselves.
यहाँ के टमाटर महंगा हो गया, right?
Yeah,
अब टमाटर
exactly.
उग नहीं रहा बेचारे के पास, लाइक वो कोशिश कर रहा है, टमाटर के बीज उसने डाले हुए हैं, वहां पे तो पानी कम हो गया है, राइट? या सैलाब आ गया है, पानी से सारी फसल बह गई है. वो तो बेचारा like 70% of the population of Pakistan is the farming, right? तो अगर 100 में से 30 लोग तो टमाटर खाते हैं, और वो जो टमाटर उगाते हैं वो बेचारे उगा ही नहीं सके, तो उनके पास तो बेचने के लिए भी कुछ नहीं है, तो पूरा साल उनके पास तो कुछ भी अपने बच्चों को खिलाने के लिए भी नहीं होगा.
बिल्कुल.
राइट, क्योंकि उनकी फसल तो अभी जो सैलाब आया था उसमें चली गई है सारी की सारी, और हम रो रहे हैं कि वो टमाटर नहीं मिल रहा, तो टमाटर मिल रहा है तो बहुत महंगा मिल रहा है, राइट? Why we are doing that, right? अब टमाटर नहीं है तो अब ये सोचे ना कि उन बेचारे के पास जो टमाटर उगाने और जिनके टमाटर के फार्म होंगे उनके पास कोई पैसा नहीं है, तो हम चलो उस वाले मोहल्ले में उस वाले इलाके में जाएं जहाँ टमाटर उगते थे और उनसे कहें कि आपकी फसल इस दफा खराब हो गई है तो आपको जरूरत होगी तो हम आपको थोड़े से और चीजें दे देते हैं ताकि आपके पास पैसे नहीं है. Like we never think about those things, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Khadija,
Yes.
did you hear everything? Did you understand? Because you don't live in Pakistan, you don't live in a
Yes.
poor country, so you wouldn't have a
No.
clue what I'm talking about.
But I've seen it in Pakistan when I went.
Yeah, same.
There's a lot of people that like bargain, but like they don't even let it go. They just they keep bargaining.
Yeah, they keep bargaining. Why, right? And those are like really poor people. They are really poor people, right? जो अमरूद बेच रहा है, जो वो बेच रहा है,
Yeah.
that's like really sad thing. Like basically the people who can afford, they should, वो 5 रुपए की चीज 10 रुपए की चीज है तो वो बोले कि चलो तुम आज 12 ले लो, like they should do that, and Allah will give them for that $2 extra or $1 extra they gave, or at least don't bargain with them, right? At least don't bargain with them, right? And अगर उसने बहुत ज्यादा कर दिया तो अल्लाह उसको बता देगा, but like I mean, don't bargain with them. They are very, very, if you go, the farmers who have like even the lands, and then their houses are just like वो कच्चा houses होता है, उनके पास गैस भी नहीं होता, वो लोग लकड़ी पे खाना बना रहे होते हैं, and they don't have furniture, they don't have anything. Like go and see, go and visit them, like how poor the if you go out of Karachi just like half an hour or 2 hours, you will see all the poverty over there, right? And who is the rich people according to Allah subhanahu, like Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to hadith, who are the rich people? Who have the Mazda, BMW, Mercedes, and a big house and with a swimming pool? Are they the rich people? Or the hadith said the people who spend, or the people who do the, yeah, this was a question on my exam. So who are the rich people in the eyes of like according to a hadith? The rich people are those who make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala zikr, or the people who have a lot of affluence, or the people who just like give a lot of money to in charity, or the people who spend time with the poor. Which is the correct answer? Who are the rich people? I
Who
repeat.
spent time with the poor?
Yes. So it's not that you have millions of dollars and you just like gave like the whole $1 million in the charity. No, you won't still be called rich, right? Even though it's like a good charity, but the people who spend time with the poor, they are the rich people. So if Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that they are the rich people, don't you want to be a rich person and go and spend time, find the poor people and spend time with them? Right? Do you want to be called rich person as per Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Answer.
Yes.
So you have to think about it, what you can do, how you can become rich, right? Now the definition of like, that was my exam question and I was confused that the person who gives a lot of money in the charity, he's a rich person, right? He can give a lot of, but no, it's the one who spend time with the poor people. Right? That's the beauty of like learning Islam, that you learn the right thing. I wouldn't have guessed the answer, right? Before that. Did you? आप में से किसको पता था कि कौन सा सही आंसर है इन 4 में से? Okay, I think we have completed our time. We will meet tomorrow, inshallah. Very good, Barira. I think we switched to the storytelling because I just wanted to finish it off, right? It's a very beautiful story. Hmm?
Very beautiful story, very interesting.
Very, very interesting. And you learn everything, like if you pay attention, and inshallah, once you are more into it, आप लोग ज्वाइन करो स्कूलों को, इसको फॉर्मली लर्न करना शुरू करो, then ask a lot of questions, and Islam is like really, oh, did I tell you guys? मैंने आपको बॉटल का और एग्जांपल दिया, किसका एग्जांपल दिया था आज? ये 2 मिनट और लूंगी मैं आपका। उसका एग्जांपल दिया था ना आपको। किसके पास वो है, गूगल है, इसका मायना निकालो जरा। सूरह क़यामा, सूरह क़यामा का आयत नंबर 3 का जब मायना निकाल कर मुझे बताओ। ये मेडिकल से जो इंटरेस्टेड लिंक है, ईमान है यहाँ पर?
Yeah, let me. Okay, one second.
एनाटमी जल्दी से क़यामा, सूरह क़यामा का आयत नंबर 3 का मायना हमको बताओ।
Ayah 3. Okay, one second. Does a believer think that we shall not assemble his bones?
Okay, that's number 1.
that-
तो bones is
that's-
medically, आप मेडिकल में हो, ठीक है? तो अल्लाह पूछ रहे हैं कि क्या इंसान ये सोचता है, does a man think कि हम उसकी बोन्स जो कि मिट्टी में मिल चुके हैं उसको असेंबल नहीं करेंगे, right? That's the anatomy, right? Like जैसे bones अभी अल्लाह ने हम लोगों का असेंबल किया हुआ है, is it difficult for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do it again?
No.
No, but go to the next ayah, 4. सीमा जरा
4.
गौर करिएगा इस पे। जी, मायना
Yes.
पढ़ो।
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We have the power to remote even his fingertips.
Fingertips. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 1400 years ago mentioned the fingertip? Because fingertips are so unique. A fingerprint, every person has a unique fingerprint. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying not only the bones is easy. I am talking about the fingertips कि उस पे जो आपका प्रिंट बना हुआ है वो भी वैसे के वैसे ही निकलेगा उस वक्त। ईमान।
Yeah.
Medical sciences still couldn't figure out the fingerprints. It's the most complicated human part, the fingertips with the print.
And that is the identity of each person on this earth.
Each person, the fingertips. This is the ayah, Surah Qiyamah. I was just like blown away with this.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll finish on that. So we have provided something for the medical student, inshallah.
That's true.
Right, Iman?
Yeah, that was a really good ayah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep it. Just like make the print, the fingerprints. That's like the whole science, the medical community, and like I mean, people knows nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said like, okay, bones easy part, like tabula and fabula and like whatever the name of the...
remoting bones is nothing to him, but and then when he said fingertips, I was like, what? Wow, like that's like no one can even think about that.
At
let alone do
1400
it.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
And even today, they don't know how to.
Even with so much technology, no one can figure it out.
Exactly. So, Khadija, how was that?
Mind blowing.
Yeah, it's so much in Quran. We don't like. It's such an interesting book. Like we have to pay attention. We have to pay really good attention.
Yes, of course. That was just.
Yeah, inshallah. All right. So, kal milte hain, okay? Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.